Last week, what we covered is how to make a flat pattern using Mesh Mixer, and today what we're going to do is take these SVG files we created, put them into Inkscape, and make a flat pattern that you can print off and or laser cut. Hello, welcome to another episode of Build Stuff with Ben. What we're going to cover today is how to take the Mesh Mixer files that we created, the SVGs, and put them into Inkscape, clean them up so that we can use them. Please don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps me out huge, and also share this with any of your friends. So let's hop into this, shall we? Now, one thing that we could have done before is have a head that we can use in Mesh Mixer to make sure that the helmet is scaled properly. Now, you want to do this before you do the flat pattern, but occasionally, if you're anything like me, you create the flat pattern and you realize, oh no, I didn't scale it and I don't know if this is going to fit. Now, if you do not have a 3D model of your own head, one thing that you can come in here is you can go into Google and you can Google mannequin head STL. You're going to find a pile of them that you can download and be able to use. You're just going to have to make sure that this head is scaled to your head. You're going to have to take some measurements and figure that out. But we're not here to talk about that. What we're here to talk about is making sure that that helmet that you have just flat patterned is going to fit you. What we're going to do is we're going to import that file, but we're going to append it. We're not going to replace. We're going to append this file with the Mandalorian helmet. You can see obviously this would not have fit me at all. We are going to need to figure out a few things, and one is that we're going to have to measure. Let's go into analysis. Let's go into measure, and the type of measurement we want is sort of the inside of the mesh. We want it to go along the Z direction, and we're going to select on my head here. Let's try that again. So you have to make sure that you've selected the right thing. Go to Z, and we want it to go across. And you'll notice when I grab a point on the mesh, it does right through the middle along here, and it tells you what that is. So we can see it's 208 millimeters in this case. That gives us a reference dimension that we can work with. So let's click on the helmet. We're also going to need that reference dimension. So analysis, measure. Now this is where it's going to be kind of different, is that I'm going to click on that point. You'll notice it's only showing me 2.9 millimeters. That doesn't make any sense, and that line isn't going all the way across. The type of measurement we want is from outside surface to outside surface right there. Now let's click on it and see what we got. So originally we had 208, and now we got something where we need it to be 91 or 92. Let's show both of these again, and zoom out. So we need to scale this guy so that it goes from 92 to 208. Let's go into edit while he's selected, and we're going to do a transform. With the transform, we're going to rotate him around 180 degrees. Then we need to scale him, but we need to scale him how much? Let's grab the calculator out, and what we need is we need something to be 208 millimeters across. That's the first number you put in. You always put in the number that you want divided by the number that you have. So the number I have is 208, or sorry, the number I want is 208. We want to divide it by 92, which is the number that we currently have. So you can see 2.26. Now I usually find that these are rather conservative, so I generally add a few percentage points to this. So let's go 2.4. That looks pretty good. Let's just get this so it's centered on my head. Now you can grab these arrows and move it directly along one way. You grab that triangle and you can play around with it a little more. So we'll put him there. We'll go off to the side, and you can see my nose sticks out. Let's move that forward, and you can see that that actually scales out pretty decent for my head. So 2.4 is a good scale factor that I need to use. Now that we know that, and this is something we should have done at the very beginning. So as we left off last time is that we had opened up this SVG file. Whoops. I scrolled away a little ways away. Now we also know that this is not going to be the right size. This is an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and obviously this isn't what we want to actually have fit our head. So we know that we got the 2.4 as a scale factor, and we've got everything selected. So we've taken this arrow, we've selected everything, and that gives us the width. So we got 442. We want to take that, let's go 2.4 times, you can see that number up there, 442. I'm not worried about the fractions of a millimeter. So we get 1060. Make sure that you come in here and you click on that link or that lock, because that lock makes sure that the scale factor is on both. Now what we have is a flat pattern that will fit our head. But this sheet obviously doesn't work with everything. So there's a little ninja trick, and I don't know where the menu item is, but it's Shift, Control, and R. And that makes sure that the artboard or the sheet that you have fits everything. So what we need to do is we need to come in here and clean things up. You see that guy there is kind of nice to have, but I'm not too worried about it. So I'm going to select and get rid of him. And that way we've got a flat pattern along here. Sometimes when you do a pattern, I'm pressing Control and using my mouse wheel, and that zooms in. Then I'm going to double click. Sometimes you're going to have a lot of these pieces, and maybe there's an arch in here. You can start deleting out these points to make things simpler. So a DXF file is going to go from there to there to there to there, and you can see that if you're trying to do a laser cut, this has got an awful lot of points that you don't necessarily want to deal with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select on that until it's select on that one point, and remember the selection tool is a little different. See that arrow? That means that we are in the edit pass mode, not the regular selection mode. So now that we're in edit pass mode, we're going to mouse over that point until it's red. And if I hit the roller or the middle mouse button and roll it, you'll notice that it expands the selection. So press Control and hold and expand that selection out. And we can delete a lot of these points. So you see in here, this is awfully complex. It doesn't need to be. So let's get in here. And we can delete out a lot of those little extra points that will cause us, at least a laser cutter, some problems. And occasionally what you'll do is you'll notice that that popped out, and that isn't what I want. So you got to kind of be a little choosy about which points that you're selecting and deleting out, so that you don't necessarily change the shape of whatever object you have too much. And you just come through here and we start deleting out these guys so that you have a nice clean edge. But let's look at something like this guy here. And it's messy, it's ugly, and it's not going to do you any good. First of all, this was an artifact of some of the modeling that we did. So what I've done is I've gotten rid of those extra points. And you can notice that these control handles, I'm going to bring them in. Then I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to press and hold Control and zoom in. And you can notice that I can probably get rid of this guy here. Now we have these two little control handles. We're going to spin them around until we get a line that makes a lot more sense. And we're going to scroll out and we fix that one area. Let's zoom in here again. We're going to get rid of this guy. We're also going to get rid of some of these points here to simplify our life. And then we're going to grab these control handles and we're going to make sure that it makes for a nice line. Now, we've cleaned up those two little points, which is awesome, and we can work on that, but we've got some of this jagged stuff here. The easiest way to deal with the jagged stuff I found is, again, is you click on that one point, you remain over top of it so it's red, and you expand out that piece, or those selections. So you grab some of those pieces that you want, and you hit delete, and suddenly all those jagged pieces have gone away. Now, yes, you can come in here and you can use the simplify line, but the simplify line doesn't necessarily give you the ability to make sure you come in here and you maintain the shape that you want. You can get in there and get rid of certain, like there's a jagged piece here. I can get rid of that jagged piece without changing the look or the feel of this. And you can come in and start tweaking with some of these handles as well. Like this guy here could probably go. You can see that we are cleaning up this file as much as we possibly can. You see this whole area here is a bit of a mess, so we can come in and start playing with it so we get what we want. Now that looks like a big arch, And it kind of is, but when you zoom out, it's really not that bad. We can still come in and start tweaking this until we get like a nice sharp edge that we want. But we also know that if you're hand cutting it, that's what it's going to be. But let's assume that you don't want this to be this big ugly arch. Let's bring these two control handles back. And we want, if you look in here, we want to insert a node. We're going to place it right there. And double click and you notice that it was right there. So now that we have that node, we can put that about where we want it to be. Bring this guy back. And we've got a much sharper corner that we can deal with. Another thing that we can come in is we can select on that guy and we want to break the path at that selected node. So once we've broken that path is that they're two separate paths and we can create the shape exactly as we want with a super sharp corner. We're going to come in here and you can see some of this stuff we can just get rid of when we select on it. One thing I've noticed is that you have to select on it, you get that. Then you have to control select all of those points. Then it goes away. Again, got control select all those points. And now we've got a DXF, or not a DXF. Now we've got an SVG file that we can use. How do I print this out so that it fits onto a bunch of sheets of paper? Because obviously this is larger than 8.5 by 11. So the next thing that we need to do is we got to go File, Save As. We want to save it as a PDF. Man01 is good. I'm going to save that as the default. Now you want to have the default. Let's just go back. So you see the Man01 file. Let's double click on that. We're going to hit Control and zoom out on the mouse wheel. So this is a little too big. If we do the file and print, what's going to show up normally is that you're going to have this size is going to be there. And let's say we make a custom size. You can see that this obviously, the flat pattern is not going to fit on a single 8.5 by 11. Come into Poster. Make sure that tile scale is 100%. Turn this to a 1/4 inch, 0.25. Now if you print it out, you're going to have 4 sheets with an overlap of 0.25 registration marks, and you're going to be able to print that off and be able to cut using that as a pattern. There you have it. Really quick and easy as far as you go from Mesh Mixer. You create the flat pattern. Hopefully you've scaled first, unlike I have, but you can still recover the files that you've created. Put that into Inkscape, clean up those files so that you have something that's usable for your laser cutter for printing and how to print it off in a tiled format. This is handy. This has gotten me a lot of different flat patterns. You can notice right here, that guy there. I took some 3D models, I cleaned them up, and I created flat patterns based off of that. Now you can, it takes a little bit of experience. You're going to need to do something fairly simple. Maybe find like a great helm from a Templar and flatten that out and make sure that you can build it. And then take the next step and do a little more complex, like a Bergeron helmet. And then you can maybe start getting into, I can find it now. That guy there. Please hit subscribe. That helps me out huge. A thumbs up does wonders for my emotional state. And less BS and you get a little more tutorials. Right here, you're going to find the original video on how to create the flat pattern, or at least get to the point where you're in Inkscape. If you've gotten this far and you've been watching this and you haven't seen that video, well, you're going to need that video to make a lot more sense of this. I will talk to you guys in a little bit. I got some really cool tips and tricks and some really fun stuff with foam clay coming on up.